What's up, guys? Answer Knows Hoops back today with another video. And today we are talking about the San Antonio Spurs, and this is the rebuild report number 3. And in the first two, we did the Houston Rockets and the Orlando Magic, respectively. And again, just wanted to thank you guys for all your love in this series and these videos lately. Let's get to 600 subs at the end of the month. So don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord in the description. And now we're going to get into the rebuild report for the San Antonio team, and they're already underwhelming. 3 wins, 3. This team is not a 3-win team. I'm not saying they should have 20 or 30, maybe 20, maybe 25, 30 at the end of the season. But you can't sit here and tell me this is a 3-win team. So let's get into it. And I think the first major issue we have to address is the point guard play. So obviously you have Jeremy Sochan running the point, right? And you're going to get him to go in and attack at the post, attack, right? And this is a good read, right? That's a good pass, right? That's the right play. So it's not even just that he's like a terrible point guard, playmaker, distributor. I just don't think this is his natural position. This is not what he is meant to do, right? So here's part of the issue. Sochan likes to operate, it seems, out of the post/paint. And that's already going to have an issue when Victor at times needs to operate in there as well, which then allows the defense to sort of shrink because Sochan is a solid shooter, but he only does it on like 2 threes a game. So it's like, how much are you really respecting him in his game? So again, right, boom, boom, turnover, right? Because again, they're expecting the outlet pass because he's not going to really be able to take that up with AD and Taurean Prince right there, right? Good defense from the combination of Sochan and Victor, which is one thing I do like about these two on the court at the same time defensively. Right? Boom. That's just a tough, that's something you just go up with, right? I get it. You're trying to be a point guard, but there's 2 options you could have taken here. At this point, either just kick it all the way out to Johnson. But this pass to Victor, Taurean Prince reads it perfectly. Just, again, I'm not saying it's Jeremy Sochan's fault they haven't won a game in a month. But I am saying that to me, Tre Jones, who I've also made a video on, is their starting point guard at this moment in time. I just think it should be that case. I think you could have Sochan at the 4. And again, right? Boom. This is how you work with what Victor's giving you, right? You get the little stagger screen action, right? Sochan's slipping off. Tre Jones goes in. AD, if you look for like half a second here, he does this little stutter look of like, where's Victor? Okay, he's not cutting, so I don't have to worry about that. So let me try and he takes too long, and that's a beautiful read by Tre Jones for a 3 by Victor Wembanyama. Which again, is something you're going to want, right? Great defense here by Victor, of course. And you're pushing. You got Tre Jones. Perfect. See, because he already has this idea in mind. Cedi Osman is already stopped. At this point, defenses are still pushing backwards to get towards the rim. At that point, Cedi Osman is wide open. 3 ball. Now, again, Tre Jones not the best shooter in the world. And now I want to talk about this team defensively. But again, let me sort of finish my point here. The point guard position for this team is crucial. I do not think they have the point guard they need at this particular moment in time. I think they need a healthy mix. Like Tre Jones is a great playmaker passer, right? To me, he's very good at that. I don't necessarily like him as a scorer, and I think the same as Jeremy Sochan, except I don't think Sochan's as good as a passer or playmaker as Tre Jones. I'm not saying they need some 20-point per game, point guard, but to me, if they could get someone from the draft, free agency or something, who can give you a solid 15 to 17 a night, and he's giving you pretty good frequency on 3 balls and can pass. And, I think they just need a real solid rock of a playmaking foundation. And right now they don't have it. And I think this idea of just ramming Jeremy Sochan into the ground through point guard, I just don't think is a move by Pop. I just don't understand why he keeps doing it. And again, I'm not saying analytics is everything. That's the point of this channel. But come on now. At some point, you have to recognize that Tre Jones is just objectively better with Victor than Sochan is, at least offensively. So again, let's talk about this team's defense, because I think it's solid, at times. But again, talking about a bottom-ranked offense, or the worst offense in basketball, technically, at number 30 and like 24th on defense. Right? So, boom. This is what I like about Sochan, though. It's the effort. That's beautiful. That's tough plays. That's what you want to see. Right? Again, they take up their man. You have Sochan on Trae Young. Fakes the pass. Beautiful play here by Victor. Victor is basically just fully committed because at this point, he fakes the pass and Victor's just ready. Victor does not care. So, boom. For him, that's just easy. And that's why I like Sochan and Victor defensively, because I think they kind of help funnel into each other. But this defense still has a long way to go. And we're going to get into that. So you get the screen here from Bogey, right? At this point, he just has the foot on Victor. Victor doesn't really step up to do anything. At that point, he's got him beat. And that's the one thing. If you're able to force Victor, right? Because here's part of the issue, right? When Victor runs screens, they run him relatively high. Like they have him above, the restricted area, right? And that's in part because they're running a him and Zach Collins lineup. So he's almost running the 4. And he's having to play up way more, which I think in a way hurts his defensive abilities. Again, he's looking over at Capella because he's like, well, there's a good chance he bounces it over. And he's caught lacking. This defense should be, I don't even know. Like, that's my issue with this team. It's like, I feel like they should be better. Like, they just should be. I'm not saying they should be, again, like some play-in contending team. Just take a look, right? Victor overcommits. The whole team overcommits. To the DeJounte. No one really even gets back in time. And he just gets a midi bucket. And for someone like Greg Popovich, who's all about the defensive ability of the team, I'm not really sure where this is showing itself. Now, again, part of it is personnel. They don't have the best defenders in the world on their team. But to me, Victor just needs to be running the 5. I mean, again, is he going to struggle? Sure, he's a rookie. He's going to have struggles. But to me, letting Victor sort of be more of that rim anchor protector is far, far better than him being forced to be a roamer / like having to play up so often on 4s. Because if you notice, when the Spurs play a lot of those teams that can kind of space the floor, that's where Victor gets kind of caught defensively. It's not that he's terrible. So before the comments, but Amster, he's actually not that bad in space. He actually can defend. That's not the point. What I'm saying is, we would all prefer Victor Wembanyama to be your rim protector than your guy defending Karl Anthony Towns at the 3-point line. You just would. It makes it harder for guards to go in there. Again, Steph Curry himself has made an interview about, like, after he tried to go up for a layup against Victor, he's like, yeah, I can't do that again. Like, that rim pressure protection that Victor brings is so, like, valuable that it should be a priority for the Spurs to make that a common habit for this team. So I think, again, Wemby going to the 5 will kind of fix itself out. I would die by that sword, right? Because, again, this defense isn't going to become a top 15 defense. It's just not. Like, you're already about 30-ish game, 20-ish, late 20s games in the season, which is insane. And I think they'll figure it out defensively. Now, I want to talk about their offense. I want to talk about Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and obviously Victor Wembanyama. So let's get into it, right? And I actually made a video on Devin Vassell too, and you guys love that video. Victor's pushing. Over to Keldon. Right. Up to Sochan, which again, the floor is already sort of shrunk / collapsed. Sochan out to Vic. Right. Out to Vassell. And even though this is a miss, that right there was the closest thing to something of like a legitimate flowing offense that you'll see from a Spurs team at times. Like, that flow is impressive. Again, right, now you got Victor. He tries to bring the ball up, and at times his ball handle is a little rough. Right, like here, like Vooch pokes it out. Gets it from Sochan. Boom. Out to Keldon. Off the bump with Caruso. Open 3. Now, these two are actually shooting very well from 3. Vassell and Keldon Johnson on pretty good volume. So, again, Your second and third options on the team are scoring well. I think part of the issue is like I talked about in my Victor video earlier this year, they encourage Victor to do these middies and these threes, which I'm not necessarily against, because you want him to be able to show that he has that diversity for teams to respect it. Because if you don't, it's going to be a lot easier to limit it. And to me, right, so let's get into that. So boom, you got Victor here. He's got Vooch one-on-one, runs the DHO with Devin Vassell, right? Out to Sochan. Back to Vassell. And like plays like that, let Victor get to work inside. Right? Like the team is rolling. Put the ball where only Victor can get it because he's 7 foot. And you can just go easy underneath and you get easy buckets. Again, that's what I love when this team finally lets Victor work out of the post. Again, he can't shoot. Let him shoot, but his 3-point percentage is under 30% right now. And he was crazy against the Lakers from 3. But look, again, boom. It's so easy when you force these tougher possessions. Because, again, off ball, right? They're moving. We got Zach Collins. Chetty Osman sets the screen for Vic. Right? Boom, boom. And then he pulls out because Chetty Osman's a good 3-point shooter. Io follows. Gets the spin around. And at that point, it's just him and the rim. And there's nothing you can do to stop that, which is what they should be running more with Victor. I understand he can shoot, but let him also get his flow from where he operates best, which is near the rim. Andre Drummond, one-on-one. Boom. Nothing he can do. Right? Dribble handoff off the Sochan, wrapping around. Gets down to the low block. And at this point, nothing you can do. This is how the Spurs need to be running their team, right? They need to let Victor dominate inside, which will let guys like Vassell, like Keldon Johnson, who are really good 3-point shooters, get in their flow more. And I like Victor's passing ability. At times it's a little rough, but again, this is a rookie, right? And we have to respect that. So we're at the point in the rebuild report where I normally give a grade. Now, I have to be honest. I'm giving this team like a C. They finally have their guy, right? But the decisions of who's playing point guard, the decisions of why they don't necessarily feed Victor a whole lot inside. Part of me does wonder if a change in coaching is in call for the Spurs team. Because at what point do you realize Jeremy Sochan at point guard isn't really working? Like, just be willing to start someone like Trey Jones. You could put Sochan at 4. Run Victor at 5. Be willing to make some of those sacrifices. And if you're going to run a double big, try and get more action to help Victor develop into the paint. So for me, I'm going to give them like a C to a C- because you also are not a 3-win team. We have to keep the same energy for this team that we have for the Pistons. I'm just going to be completely and totally transparent with you guys. We have been on the Pistons. I've seen it all over Twitter, NBA media, YouTube, you name it. The Spurs have lost 18 games, guys. The Spurs are not exactly sitting pretty. If Detroit somehow gets a win, they'll have as many wins as San Antonio. That's unacceptable from both teams. But yeah, guys, this is another episode of the Rebuild Report. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to do a like, comment, subscribe. What should I do next? What do you guys think of this rebuild? What's the move for San Antonio? As always, guys, this is San Antonio Spurs. Have a beautiful rest of your day, guys. Peace out.